Brett Allen here. Thanks everybody for watching and listening and subscribing and all of the things. We're talking Yellowstone, a brand new season here very soon with one of the stars, Denim Richards. I'm very excited about this for you all to be back again. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited for this conversation.
Yes, well, a brand new season has come. I guess we have to be careful what we talk about because we don't want to spoil anything. But are you officially wrapped on this season, or do you have a few things that you're still working on to get this new one out and going here in the coming weeks?
Yeah, well, no, thank you for having me again. We're technically done. Yes. We maybe be picking up some things here and there, but we're ready to go.
Yeah, well, this is exciting. I know the fans have been waiting a while for a new season. Again, not spoiling anything, but what are some things that we can hopefully maybe expect? Maybe some storylines tied up from your character, other characters. I mean, we'll walk on eggshells here, but I think whatever you can give us, I think we would, and the fans would be excited to hear.
I think this season is going to be exciting. I mean, I think the great thing is, like you were saying in the beginning, the kind of sometimes the biggest problem that people have with the show is usually how long they have to wait for another episode or for a new season to start. So, this season we're actually doing 16 episodes. So we're
Okay.
doing, 8 episodes on the front end. We'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be doing 8 episodes on the back end. So season 5 we'll have 16 episodes. And so I think that should at least help a little bit. So with that being said, there's a lot of exciting things that are happening this season, especially because, John is now a public figure, as a governor. And so that's going to be something that's really fascinating for us to be able to navigate as he kind of has to leave some certain aspects of the ranch to other people, which then ultimately does leave the Yellowstone ranch a little bit more vulnerable to some of these outside forces. And I think that that's going to be really fun for the audience to watch us navigate. And then, there's a lot of different storylines. We have a lot of really exciting new artists that are coming onto this season. Some of them, your audience will recognize instantaneously, and I think that that's going to be fun as they come and kind of make their mark on the Dutton Ranch. So I think that this season's very much a story about how we are going to start navigating all of these changes. I would say that this is a big season about change. Everybody's situation is changing. Like I said before, with John now being governor, his responsibilities now to the state are far different than his responsibilities just to the Yellowstone Ranch. And I think that that's going to be something that's going to have a ripple effect to all of the other people that are around him.
Wow, that's a lot more than I expected. I think that's exciting. And to your point, and that's the problem today with not a problem, but we have so much entertainment and so many things accessible to us content wise. And with streaming now becoming what it is, and Netflix, when they drop a show, you get 10, 12, 7, whatever episodes, and then we're hungry for more. But I like the idea, the sort of the Breaking Bad method, where you drop 8 episodes and you kind of split the season in half. Right. And then that way, if another season comes about, however that works, you have at least enough to get people through, right. For this hit. So many great projects you've been a part of, Denim. I'm curious what attracted you to this project in particular.
This was something that was really fascinating for me because I was doing a film called Montford Chickasaw Rancher, which is out on Netflix, and there was another actor in there, Tommy Flanagan, who was on Sons of Anarchy, and we were doing this one scene where we were sitting around a campfire. And I remember it was like maybe 3, 4 in the morning, and as we were driving back, he was telling me about this amazing show that his best friend, John Linson, was getting ready to do called Yellowstone. And, Kevin Costner had been, has officially signed on to it. and you just got to call your reps and see if they can get you a meeting. And so I had called them, and they immediately were asking me, like they're like, I don't see it anywhere. I don't hear about it. We don't know about it. And I was like, yeah, trust me, it's there. And so finally they said, okay, we finally found John Papsideris, and he is casting for Yellowstone. So they were able to get me a meeting. And then I went to a producer session with like John Papsideris, John Linson, and then Taylor, who's obviously the creator and showrunner as well. And he was on Skype, and we were just kind of talking through what the project was. And I was like, man, this is like, seems a lot bigger than the way that it was pitched to me originally. And so now I was like super nervous. Like I wanted it before, but now you're like, yo, it seems like you really want this one. And then, when I got the call, like it felt like a year later, but it was probably like a month. But like every day I was so anxious, and I would just tell my team, don't call me unless it has something to do with Yellowstone. And so finally, when they called and said that I gotten it, and then I had found out at that time that Kevin was also starring in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like in the beginning, I thought he was just executive producing it. Now he's in it. I was like, this is life changing. And then the show, we got there in 2017, and nobody really knew what it was going to be because, Westerns had kind of been like, hit or miss. And we didn't really know how the audiences were going to take it. And then kind of just like slowly as the seasons went on, like I think it was about season 3, the show just exploded. And now we kind of are where we are, where it's, it's the number 1 show in the US. And I think that's just really exciting to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, fantastic. This is very exciting. We're ready for a new season. One last question. I know Taylor is known for having cowboy camps and cowboy this and that. How was did you get to attend? And how was your experience going through that? Because I think that's so cool that he put that together for his actors to really indoctrinate you, so to speak, not just about riding horses, but really the life, which makes this show even that much more believable.
Yeah, no, it's a brilliant idea. For many of us that are on the show, we grew up in kind of a big city or in bigger cities, right? With Los Angeles or Chicago or New York. And so many of us didn't have, like I had experience riding, but I had never had experience like being a cowboy. Like, doing a trail ride or riding around an arena is not the same as being around cattle and, pasture and things of that nature. So, you just don't get that lifestyle when you're in Los Angeles. And so, that was part of the thing when we all got, cast and booked for the show, that of him putting together this cowboy camp. Now, the first cowboy camp that we did was in Utah. It was in Thousand Peaks, Utah. And one thing that it wasn't until after I had gotten cast for the show that I had realized that they were shooting in Utah, and I get tremendous elevation sickness.
Oh no.
I'm deathly ill from elevation. And so that was like a thing where I had gigs that I had to turn down in previous years because of where it was shooting, and I just wasn't able to do it. And so they're like, yeah, we have this cowboy camp, and it's really great. It's important for Taylor because now this is the first time that the whole cast is going to be together, and it's going to be like this 4-day kind of like bonding, right, for everybody. And I was like, okay, I guess I got to just go there or whatever and just do it. And so once I got there, I had probably for maybe a week before, I bought like a training mask, and I was like playing basketball in the training mask and doing all these other things. So I thought that I was like good to go. And so we get there probably I think on a Wednesday, and then we start preparing to go to Thousand Peaks, Utah on Thursday. And as we're driving up this mountain, like I'm in the car, it was like myself, was it Luke or whatever, Luke Grimes, who plays Casey, Dave Annabelle, Wes Bentley, and then Jake, and we're all driving this car and we're going up. And I was like, okay, we're like laughing. And then I started to feel like this whoosh come over me. And I was like, we're getting pretty high. So Jake was driving, and I was like, Jake, how high are we going for this camp? He's like, well, we're at 7,000 feet right now, but we should be camping at like 10,000. And like, I immediately started having a panic attack. I was like, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to make it. But I made it like a day and a half, and then I started getting really sick. And then the last 2 days of the camp, it was pretty much just me shriveled up in a sleeping bag, sick. That was my introduction to Cole, because he came the next day. So that was my introduction to him, and that was my introduction to Jeff. Was, hey, this is Denim. He's kind of not feeling well, and I just see this giant figure just hovering over me. And Cole's like, "Here, take some vitamin C." I was like, "Bro, it's not gonna help." But it was really, really awesome. And then subsequently after that, I was able to get used to it. And our cowboy camps now have been super fun. We do them every year. Which I think Taylor does that because after every season, our writing is getting progressively more intense and we're getting better. And so he's able to write more things for us to do. And we don't have stunt doubles like that. So it's important for us to be able to keep up with the world that Taylor's continuously expanding. And so it's really fun for us to kind of bond and compete with one another. We really have a really good time.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Denim. It's been a pleasure chatting with you and meeting you. Everybody's excited for Yellowstone, a new season, 16 glorious episodes coming very soon, next month, I think, or right around out there. So
November 13th.
Awesome. Denim, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure chatting.
No problem. Thank you.